Welcome everyone. Today we're diving into one of the most crucial and often misunderstood concepts in America, free speech. We'll explore its cultural and historical roots, what it truly means, what it does not mean, and address common misconceptions. The concept of free speech in America has its roots in Enlightenment thought. The Enlightenment was an intellectual movement in the 17th and 18th centuries, emphasizing reason, individualism, and skepticism of traditional authority. This period was called the Enlightenment because it contrasted with the preceding era, known as the Dark Ages, characterized by limited access to knowledge, superstition, and unquestioned authority. The Dark Ages lasted from approximately the 5th to the late 15th century. This period was highlighted by feudalism, the dominance of the Catholic Church, and a lack of scientific and cultural advancement. During the Dark Ages, Europe was controlled by feudal lords and the Catholic Church, which had significant influence over politics and daily life. Philosophers like John Locke and Voltaire argued that free expression was essential for human progress and the pursuit of truth. John Locke was an English philosopher who advocated for the protection of individual rights and government by consent. His ideas heavily influenced the American Declaration of Independence and Constitution. Voltaire, a French philosopher, was a fierce critic of the church and state, advocating for freedom of religion and expression. His works laid the foundation for modern secular and humanist thought. Colonial America became in contact with Enlightenment ideas through European settlers and intellectuals who brought these concepts with them. Pamphlets, books, and essays circulated, spreading Enlightenment ideals. In colonial America, the value of free speech began to take shape through resistance to British control. Figures such as John Peter Zenger helped establish the precedent that truth is a defense against libel. John Peter Zenger was a German-American printer and journalist in New York City. In 1733, he printed the New York Weekly Journal to voice opposition to the corrupt colonial governor, William Cosby. Zenger was arrested and charged with libel. His acquittal in 1735, defended by lawyer Andrew Hamilton, set a vital precedent for freedom of the press and speech, emphasizing that truth is a defense against libel. The protection of free speech was enshrined in the First Amendment to the United States Constitution in 1791. It states, "Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press." In America, free speech primarily means that individuals have the right to express their thoughts, opinions, and ideas without fear of government censorship or punishment. This includes the right to criticize the government, advocate for change, and share diverse viewpoints. Government censorship or punishment that is protected against under the right to free speech includes actions such as silencing dissent, suppressing political criticism, and punishing individuals for expressing their opinions. This can involve imprisonment, fines, or other legal repercussions imposed by the government. Free speech protections in the U.S. cover a wide range of expressions, including spoken words, written texts, symbolic speech, such as flag burning, and artistic works. This broad protection fosters a vibrant and dynamic public discourse. Several landmark Supreme Court cases have defined the scope of free speech in America. These include cases like Schenck v. United States, 1919, and Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969. Schenck v. United States established the clear and present danger test. It determined that speech could be restricted if it posed a significant risk to public safety. Brandenburg v. Ohio refined this standard, protecting speech advocating illegal action, unless it is likely to incite imminent lawless action. These cases have set important precedents for free speech in America. New York Times Covey Sullivan, 1964, strengthened press freedoms. It ruled that public officials must prove actual malice to win a libel case. While the First Amendment protects individuals from government censorship, it does not shield them from the consequences of their speech in private contexts. For example, an employer can fire an employee for making offensive remarks that violate company policy. Free speech in America is not absolute. There are several recognized limitations designed to balance individual expression with the protection of public order and individual rights. Hate speech is generally protected, but it can be restricted if it directly incites violence or constitutes harassment. Speech that incites imminent lawless action is not protected. False statements that harm someone's reputation can lead to legal action. Certain types of obscene material, particularly those involving minors, are not protected. Speech that poses a clear and present danger to public safety, such as falsely shouting fire in a crowded theater, can be restricted. These limitations are essential to maintaining public order and individual rights. One of the most common misconceptions is that free speech rights apply equally to private individuals and entities as they do to the government. The First Amendment protects against government actions, not actions taken by private employers or social media platforms. Another misconception is that free speech means freedom from criticism. In reality, free speech allows for open debate, which includes the right of others to disagree and criticize. Many people believe that their free speech rights are violated when social media platforms remove their posts or ban their accounts. However, these platforms have the right to moderate content to ensure a safe and respectful environment for their users. Free speech is a fundamental right in America, essential for democracy and the free exchange of ideas. Understanding its true meaning, historical roots, and limitations is crucial for appreciating this right. As we navigate the complexities of free expression in the digital age, it remains vital to balance the right to free speech with the need to protect individuals and society from harm. This understanding fosters a healthy, democratic society where diverse voices can be heard and respected. Democracy, often misunderstood, is a system of government by the whole population or eligible members, typically through elected representatives. It ensures the people's voice and choice in governance, emphasizing equal rights and participation. Despite often being referred to as the democracy, the United States is actually a constitutional republic. In a constitutional republic, elected officials represent the people, and their powers are limited by a constitution to protect individual rights and prevent the majority from overriding the minority. The term democracy is often used to describe the United States because of its emphasis on democratic principles, such as fair elections, majority rule, and protection of minority rights. However, the structure of the U.S. government ensures a system of checks and balances designed to protect individual freedoms and prevent any single entity from gaining too much power. Referring to the U.S. government as a democracy is a common mistake that can confuse people. While democratic principles are central to our government, calling it a democracy overlooks the constitutional safeguards in place. As we look ahead to the 2024 election, free speech takes center stage. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris offer contrasting visions for America's future, each framing their campaigns around the principles of free expression. Trump, a master of using media to his advantage, often claims censorship by mainstream platforms. He rallies his base with calls for unrestrained free speech. His stance resonates with those who feel silenced by political correctness. They view free speech as an unalienable right to express all opinions, however controversial. Harris has been criticized for supporting policies that some argue stifle free speech in the name of combating misinformation. Critics claim her approach could lead to censorship and suppression of dissenting voices. Her proposals have sparked debate over the balance between maintaining truth and respecting freedom of expression. Concerns about the erosion of free speech under her leadership are significant. Public misconception about free speech often stems from conflating it with freedom from consequences. Free speech protects individuals from government censorship, not from repercussions in private or social contexts. This distinction is crucial as we evaluate the candidates' positions and their implications for the republic. Trump's accusations of media bias and his battles with social media giants underscore the challenges of free speech in the digital era. His narrative that conservative voices are unfairly targeted by platform policies highlights a significant concern for many voters. Understanding the multifaceted nature of free speech and its implications is essential as we approach the 2024 election. The debate over free speech is not just about the right to speak, but also about the responsibility that comes with that right. It's about ensuring that our discourse remains robust, informed, and conducive to a healthy republic. As we navigate these issues, it's clear that the conversation about free speech will continue to evolve. By fostering an environment where diverse viewpoints can be expressed and debated, we can uphold the principles that are foundational to our republic. At Red Hat News, where the truth speaks loud, we remain committed to exploring these critical issues. Join us as we continue to delve into the topics that matter most to our society and our republic. So keep in mind, when you say free speech, it is protecting you from the government. With the government, you have freedom of speech and can speak without prosecution. You cannot go up to an individual person and say whatever you want without consequences. You cannot go to individual businesses and say what you want without consequences. We hope we have made it clear what free speech is in America. For more insightful analysis and explanations of governmental terms, stay tuned to Red Hat News. If you liked this video, press that like button and share it with people you know. If you haven't already, subscribe to Red Hat News, where the truth speaks loud. And stay tuned to Red Hat News, and thank you for joining us on this insightful dive into free speech in America.